Chairman of COPE Sunil Hadunethi expressed his views regarding the committee report on the central bank bond transactions exclusively to News First.
There was a division on the content with regard to the bond transaction. It was whether the auction system prevailed throughout or whether it was a mixed system that was in place. One group presented facts saying that the auction system prevailed. They say that it was because of this that the governor had to go into an auction system. The other group says that no, that was not the case. They say that the system that should be followed should not be dictated by the Prime Minister or someone else. It should be the system that brings the least amount of losses to the government. Now the government cannot bear the risk of the dealer. It is not right if the government bears a loss and provides the dealers with a benefit or a profit. This is the problem. If this was not the case, someone can identify this as a normal transaction and say that this is the nature of doing business. What do we see if we only look at perpetual treasuries? What will their answer be if they are brought before court and if they are questioned on how they earned such a profit? They will say that they are a business and that the court cannot ask why a business earned a profit. But we can ask this question from them. Was there a mechanism within the central bank to help perpetual treasuries earn an undue profit? That is what is important. Was there a conflict of interest with regard to the governor?
Lakshman Kiriyalla says that the previous government had thrown 30 COPE reports into the dustbin. What will you do to prevent this from happening for the 31st time?
There are steps that need to be taken to prevent this from going into the dustbin for the 31st time. Action needs to be taken with regard to the former governor of the central bank. Legal action should be taken against him and the officials. The losses need to be identified and it should be taken back from these officials. What is most important is that the relevant steps to avoid recurrence should be implemented. There are institutions that can take these steps. The President, the Prime Minister and the Cabinet of Ministers can implement them after looking into the ordinances and the acts. Will they be enacted? I should reiterate that the responsibility to look into the enactment of these steps lies with the legislature. I think it will have to be headed by COPE. I state very responsibly that this is not an investigation that will conclude after being debated in Parliament for 2 days. This investigation has commenced. If someone thinks that the COPE has concluded its investigation into the bond transaction, then as the chairman of COPE, I have to say this is not the end, but the beginning.
මම සභාපතිවරයා හැටියට කියනවා නෑ මේක අවසානය නෙමෙයි පරීක්ෂණේ ආරම්භය.
MP Sunil Hadunethi responded to the statement made by State Minister Sujiva Senasinghe with regard to the media institutions who reported on the COPE report.
The media should not be reprimanded. Instead, it should be invited into COPE. Why can't they report? If the legislature is responsible for the financial control of the country, if it is public money, then they should be aware of it. What is wrong with that? We should not threaten the media. We should invite them. As the chairman of COPE, I invite the media to come into COPE. There won't be criticism that various media organizations reported it the way they want if all media organizations are invited. The people who rob should be afraid. Those who don't should not be afraid. This is the real story.